We met in our last year at university when I was out with friends. Sarah was celebrating her 21st birthday when I met her at a local club in Nashville. I literally bumped into Sarah as I walked by her table, knocking her drink into her lap. After a few awkward moments, I apologized and we talked while I helped her clean up the mess I had made. Some call it love at first sight, but I think there was a unique chemistry between us that drew us like a magnet. From that night on, we dated and were never apart again. A year later, we were married and began our life together. My name is Jonathan Parks and my friends call me Johnny. I have a degree in accounting and became a certified public accountant at a large accounting firm in Atlanta, where Sarah and I settled near our family. After working and gaining experience at a large accounting firm, I started my own firm. Sarah, who has a degree in business administration, supported me for the first 2 years until she became pregnant with our wonderful daughter, Angel. Sarah and I had a fairy tale relationship. We were still madly in love and spent all our time together. When Angel came into our lives, we extended our love to our wonderful daughter. For the next 10 years we lived a typical family life, with me working hard to grow the business and Sarah taking care of the house and raising our daughter. Sexually, we were happy and made love at least 3 times a week. I say we loved each other, and that's exactly what it was, love. Our feelings for each other were deep and sensual. We never experimented or had hard sex because we respected each other and never wanted to do anything like that. Sarah enjoyed being orally stimulated and I liked giving it to her, but she wasn't a big fan of having my cock in her mouth and only did so on special occasions. Probably less than 10 times during our marriage. I never pushed her as I was content with our life and enjoyed our relationship. What I loved about Sarah was how attentive she was, at all times. From the day we said our vows, she'd kiss or hug me, take my arm or hold my hand whenever we were together. The intimacy in our marriage was incredible and I loved every second of our closeness. Our friends always laughed at us and said it wouldn't last forever, but after 10 years of that affection, they finally realized we were a special couple. When Angel was 10 years old, Sarah said she wanted to go back to work. Now that Angel had a routine and came home from school every day at 3:30 p.m., Sarah explained that she did not want to sit at home every day, but wanted to go back to the real world. After hours of discussion, we agreed and developed a plan that would ensure Angel continued to get the attention a 10-year-old girl needed. Sarah found a job as a personal assistant to William Aston, a lawyer 10 years her senior. The hours were good, and Sarah loved having adult responsibilities, which was good for her ego and confidence. She was no longer a housewife, but a businesswoman and mother. I saw how happy she was with her work and supported her. She was able to be home by 4 o'clock every night and was always there for Angel. Our family grew stronger as time went on. We had a comfortable life and lived in an upscale apartment complex with membership to a country club. Since we had no financial problems, we were able to save enough for Angel's college and our retirement. We lived a blessed life because we had our health, money and happiness without worrying. As you can imagine, sex life changes after 10 years of marriage, and in most marriages, it slows down, and ours was no different. We went from making love 3 to 4 times a week to only 2 times a week, usually Friday and Saturday nights. Yes, we became predictable, but we still loved each other and enjoyed our closeness. Sarah never stopped being attentive and always showed me her love throughout the years. I enjoyed that attention and love, and the intimacy we shared was more rewarding to me than our lovemaking. Being kissed and hugged for no reason and being appreciated for her love was overwhelming and, for me, the best part of our marriage. I returned the attention, but Sarah always made sure I knew how much she loved me. Angel joined the math club and stayed after hours, coming home around 5 p.m. Around the same time, Sarah started working late 2 nights a week, which worked out well because Angel now came home at the same time I did. We never wanted to leave her alone at that age and made sure our schedules matched. William, Sarah's boss, was promoted to senior partner in his father-in-law's firm. When he received the promotion, Sarah had to work a few extra hours 2 evenings a week. Tuesday and Thursday nights she was home by 7 p.m., and I made sure dinner was ready when she got home from her long day at work. Other than those 2 nights a week, everything stayed the same in their marriage. My business was doing well now, and I was earning a good income. The company grew to 45 employees, and I had my hands full growing the business. We became a well-known and respected accounting firm that became a target for acquisition or merger with some of the larger firms in the area. Angel was now 15 years old and beginning to think about colleges and her future. Sarah still worked for William and was still as attractive as the day we met. The years had done Sarah good, as she maintained her slim figure, enhanced by her long, sexy legs and round butt. She had a pretty face, but never seemed anything other than professional and conservative. We both lived a lifestyle that others might call boring. We spent most of our time together at home or going to the movies or a family event with our daughter, and were always together as a family, never going out alone or without each other as a couple. I received a call from William, her boss at work, informing me that Sarah was to be honored for an award at a banquet the next month and that I and Angel were invited to attend. I proudly accepted the award and told Angel that her mother would be receiving an award for excellence in her profession. Since the award was a surprise, they wanted us there. Usually, these meetings were for staff only, and we were asked to keep it a secret until the award ceremony. In the last 5 years since Sarah started working for William, she has done excellent work that seemed to make her happier at home and boost her self-esteem. I know she worked hard and was well liked in her company, and now to hear that they wanted to show their appreciation made Angel and me proud. Sarah told us about an upcoming business meeting at the Ritz-Carlton downtown and that she had to work late and give a presentation to the entire company. She was looking forward to giving the presentation and had spent many hours on it in the weeks leading up to the event. At the time, she did not know we were invited or anything about her award, and Angel and I kept our secret. We could hardly wait for the event and Sarah's award. I took Angel shopping for a new dress, and I bought a new suit to make sure she would be proud of her family at the awards ceremony. Sarah wore a knee-length dress with a back cutout that looked professional but still showed off her beautiful curves. She was an attractive woman and still desirable at the tender age of 37. Before the limo picked her up to make arrangements for the meeting, Angel and I hugged her and wished her luck for her presentation that evening. We had 2 hours to get ready after she left for the event, and we both got dressed on time and left to be at the event about 30 minutes before Sarah's talk. One of the hosts greeted us and seated us at a table in the middle of the room with a clear view of the stage. Angel and I were given special treatment, and everyone told us how much they loved Sarah and how delighted they were to meet us. We felt so welcome and happy to be there for our wife and mother. The lights in the audience dimmed as they began the introductions on stage. The spotlights flickered as the first speaker introduced the firm's founder, the CEO, and then William, the senior partner. William gave a brief speech about the company's successful year and then introduced Sarah, who was to share some of the past year's successes. Sarah came on stage looking as beautiful as ever, and I saw how proud Angel was when she saw her mother begin her presentation. In a professional and practiced voice, Sarah talked about the great year the company had had, their successes, and the future projects they were working towards. She spoke for about 10 minutes, and when she was done, she handed the stage back to William, But before she left, Williams took her in his arms and held her next to him as he spoke. "Ladies and gentlemen, before Sarah leaves the stage, I would like to say a few words. Sarah and I have worked closely together over the past 5 years, and Sarah has become an integral part of our organization and my work life. I am convinced that without her, we would not have achieved some of the successes she has outlined today. It is my great honor to honor Sarah tonight with our highest honor, the Chairman's Club Award. This award is only given to employees who go far above and beyond the call of duty and are recognized for their commitment to the company." She received a large plaque and an envelope containing $10,000 award. With tears in her eyes, she accepted the check, hugged William, turned to the audience and thanked everyone. Angel and I had tears in our eyes because we were both so proud of her mother. The people at the table all hugged me, and it was one of our happiest evenings. We were both bubbling with pride and could not stop smiling. The lights came on and it was time for a drink. I took my daughter's glass and told her I'd be right back as I walked to one of the bars on the side of the room. The lines for drinks were long and I saw an empty bar near the stage and walked over to get a double Jack and a soft drink for Angel. Feeling happy and generous, I smiled and threw $5 in the tip jar, took my drinks and turned to go back to my table. It was at that moment my world imploded. On the way back something caught my eye and I turned to see what it was. Behind the curtains, protected from the gaze of others, a couple was hugging and kissing. I thought this was strange and out of place at such an event, but thought nothing more of it until I recognized the dress. It was the same dress Sarah had worn that night. I turned around once more and froze in place. The couple I was looking at was still engaged in a heartfelt kiss. The woman had her arms wrapped around the man's neck, and the man's hand was caressing her buttocks unhindered. The way they embraced made me realize that this was not the first time they had shared this intimacy. The couple obviously felt safe behind the curtain and allowed for intimate feelings. I felt like I was having an out-of-body experience as I watched the action. Still frozen, with 2 drinks in my hand and my mouth open, I watched the two until they finally separated and confirmed to me that it was indeed the love of my life giving a very romantic kiss to her boss, William. At that moment I dropped one of the drinks, which attracted the attention of the lovers. When she saw the man staring at her, I saw a shocked expression on her face. At that moment, I felt myself returning to my body and regaining my senses. I was speechless, feeling my stomach sink to the floor and a sudden deep pain in my heart. Not knowing what to do, I simply turned around and walked back to my table with the remaining drink in my hand. At the same time, Sarah came running after me and was just able to reach me before I reached our table. "Honey, I just found out that you and Angel are here for the awards ceremony. Thanks for coming, sweetheart. What you just saw wasn't what it looked like, honey. We can talk later, okay?" I just nodded and went to our table, where Sarah appeared and was congratulated by everyone. Angel gave her a big kiss and a hug and was so happy for her mother. I was still in shock and just sat there quietly with what I assumed was a sad expression on my face, not saying a word. Sarah said she had a few more things to do and would join us again soon. Angel noticed my change in attitude and tried to ask me what was wrong. I just shook my head and said nothing more for the rest of the evening. It was clear that I was distraught and no longer happy to be there for everyone around us. I know what I saw, and it was much more than a friendly kiss. In fact, Sarah and I had not kissed like that in years. Thinking back, it had been over 5 years since we had kissed so passionately. My brain began to work as I thought about those years and how things had changed. I knew there was going to be trouble, but at that point I was not sure exactly what it was. We drove home while Angel and Sarah talked about the night and how proud she was of her mother. Still shocked by what I had seen, I said nothing and just drove home, lost in my own head. Both girls noticed my silence and tried to get me to talk, but I remained persistently silent. Sarah knew it was not good, and she tried to make up for it by being sweet and extra affectionate, but I did not want to hear about that night. I tried to keep my feelings away from Angel, but being an intelligent girl, she knew something was bothering me and was smart enough to leave me to my own devices. Before Angel went to bed, she whispered in my ear, "Dad, if you want to talk, I am here for you, okay?" She gave me a hug and a kiss before going to bed. I went straight to bed without saying a word, and a few minutes later heard Sarah enter the room. "Johnny, are you okay, baby?" After a full minute of silence, she asked, "Honey, do you want to talk to me?" Her voice told me she was nervous. As she climbed into bed and tried to hold me, I turned my back to her. "Listen, I know what that looked like, and I'm so sorry. I don't know what to say, but it wasn't what it looked like. Please talk to me." Wordlessly, I lay there and remained silent as anger began to replace the state of shock I was in. I didn't say another word, because there was nothing I wanted to say to this woman, and I knew that anything I'd say would be hurtful and wouldn't solve anything that night. She tried to hug me, but I ignored her and experienced the worst sleep of my life. The next morning was a Saturday, and I knew it was going to be a long day when I opened my eyes and the sunlight streamed in through the window. I lay there remembering the scene I had witnessed, trying to make sense of the situation. I climbed out of bed, went to the bathroom, washed and brushed my teeth. When I returned to the bedroom, Sarah was sitting up in bed, watching me and trying to act normal. "Good morning, sweetheart. Did you sleep well?" she asked, as if nothing had happened. I ignored her question, put on a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, and before leaving the bedroom, I looked at her and spoke to her for the first time since the kiss. I turned to her with a hateful look in my eyes, speaking for the first time since the banquet. "How long?" When she didn't answer and just looked at her hands, I left her and headed out to eat breakfast and have some time to think. I ended the conversation feeling distraught. I know things are going to change for us, and I'm not looking forward to hearing what she's going to tell me about her affair. She knows she has to tell me the truth because she knows if she lies, I'll know. Sarah and I've been very close, and she has never given me any reason to believe that she wants another man. I haven't noticed any change in her intimacy, and she still hugs and kisses me all the time. How can she act like that when she's having an affair? I mean, if she's with him, how can she show me all this love? Can the woman I love really have an affair with William? Sarah's thoughts after the kiss. "Oh my God, this is terrible, and I can't believe this happened. William knows he should not show affection outside of his office, but tonight he just had to kiss me. Yes, I enjoy his kisses and hugs, and it was an exciting evening, so I can understand his enthusiasm, but he knows my rules about showing affection in public and how dangerous it is. Now I have a big problem. How do I explain to Johnny what he saw? He's not stupid, and I know it will not be easy. I remember the first time William and I started this affair. It was a year after I became his PA, and he was having problems with his wife. He has 6 young children, including twins, who keep his wife very busy and overwhelmed. They were having a difficult time, and he started telling me about his problems. We became closer, and I remember helping him through this difficult time, but not without consequences. William was a strong and kind man, and I admired him and wanted to make him happy during his difficult time. Several times I hugged him and told him that everything would be okay and that he just needed to hang in there and love his wife. Once when I was hugging him, we felt a current flow through us and we kissed, which led to a sexual encounter on the big couch in his office. Today I know that I've been selfish and caught in his web of power. the respect I enjoyed as William's personal assistant went to my head. I felt I was more important than the others in the office, and William was always generous with praise and compliments in the workplace. William was to become CEO in the next few years, and being so close to him gave me a false sense of self-worth. I felt emboldened to soothe his feelings when I saw him agitated again that fateful night. William had just gotten off the phone with his wife after a heated argument, and when I saw how upset he was, I hugged him and told him everything would be okay. We hugged, and then he thanked me and gave me a kiss on the mouth. We looked into each other's eyes, and the kiss turned into a 2-hour sex scene in his office. I was captivated by his power and closed myself off from him during that time. I always felt the need to show my affection in the form of hugs and kisses, and that led to that one night. We talked the next day and both knew that it would never happen again and that it was just a one-time thing that we needed to get over. When it was over, I felt terrible and guilty and wanted to tell Johnny about it, but I knew it would mean the end of our marriage. When I got home, I was sure Johnny knew what I had done, but as always, Johnny and Angel just hugged and kissed me and greeted me with the love they always showed when I came home late. My heart broke and I felt sick with guilt. At that moment I knew I should keep quiet and never mention it again. After all, that night was a once-in-a-lifetime event that would never happen again. Over the next few months, we worked late into the night, and after a few weeks we were back in each other's arms. There was no reason for me to cheat on Johnny, because I loved him with all my heart and would never want to hurt him or damage our marriage. But being with William was something else. He was a big, strong man in whose arms I felt safe. William wasn't a good-looking man in competition to my wonderful husband. William was overweight, balding, and not what other women would go for. Johnny had gotten to know him and not only knew that I'd never cheat on him, but was also sure that William wasn't a threat, which was one reason he didn't mind me working with him after hours.